come to order, and we will first call the roll.
Mr. Holman?
Here.
Ms. Lazaris?
Here.
Mr. Grady?
Here.
Mr. Waters?
Here.
Ms. Heimstreet?
Here.
Ms. Silva?
Here.
And Dr. Mason previously informed staff that he would be unavailable for this evening's meeting.
All right, next on the agenda is the correction and approval of minutes from our last meeting on that was from last July. July. Are there any objections to the minutes as written and shared? Any objections? Objections, seeing none. I'll declare that the minutes from our July meeting are approved. Number 4. Next on the agenda, question and public comment. So individuals who have registered to speak are invited to address the Planning Commission at this time. Please state your name and address when you're called to make your comments. No action will be taken for items not listed on the agenda, so each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Please note that if your comment pertains to a public hearing later on in the agenda, so that would be for items 5 and 7 for West Tyranena Park Boulevard, the location across from the supermarket. Items 9 and 10 for the bus barn on the CSM 2400, or the Lake Mills School District proposal for expanding the high school. If your comment pertains to those, hold those to the public hearing later on. And correct me if I'm wrong, city staff. So if anyone from outside the applicants want to make a public comment for the art, could they do that now? Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So if you would like to make a public comment on the art, that's just number, I think it's like further down, number 13 on the agenda. Now is the time to make that comment. Otherwise, this is just for general comment. So if you have any public comment, please come up to the mic now. Okay. And anyone online? Okay, seeing no public comment, we're going to move on to the next agenda, which is number 5, a proposed amendment on changing the parcel 246-0713-1114-000 located West Tyranena Park Boulevard across from the grocery store, and moving that from planned business to multifamily residential on the comprehensive plan future land use map. This is potentially a part of a 2-part conversation where we'll be first entertaining the future land use change along with zoning changes in items 7 and 8 on the agenda. So let's start off with our city consultant, Dustin Wolf, giving a short presentation.
Thank you. Try to put this up on the screen and hopefully we can see it pretty well. As you mentioned, the action items associated with this request are twofold. The first piece is a request to change the future land use map. Currently, the future land use map for this property, which, as you noted, is a vacant piece of land that's currently just farmed to the south of Lake Mills Market on Tyranena, adjacent to the lands to the west are all in the town of Lake Mills. Lands to the south and the east are the Lake Mills Cemetery in the city of Lake Mills. I'll show a quick graphic here. The proposal is to change the future land use map designation for this property. On the left, you can see in the center, highlighted property in question is shown for a planned business, an office, or generally commercial or retailing type uses. That aligns with the lands across the street and extending over to the intersection of County V 89 and generally the interstate. The request, as you can see, to change it on the right shows it in orange. That's our color category for the multifamily residential designation. The petitioner has recently purchased the property from a longtime local landowner, Linda Keith, and it was at that property owner's desire that it be made available for commercial land. It's a little hard to talk about future land use without thinking about the zoning, but it has been shown for commercial land use for more than 2 decades. In my time here, we've received no or fielded no inquiries on commercial development on that site from that property owner or others. The current property owners, just acquired it, have made the request to change the designation to multifamily to enable future multifamily development. Obviously, the commercial use designation doesn't enable a residential activity within it. So process here is straightforward. It really does just highlight the public hearing process and an action by the Plan Commission and the council. But digging in a little deeper as to kind of the why, or why would we allow this, or does the comprehensive plan enable this? It looks at a few things. One of the initial issues is, would we be removing the viability of commercial lands in this area, or commercial development in this area? This graphic here is showing you other lands. You can see A, B, and C there that are all planned for future commercial or office development. That area is nearly 40 acres of land area for commercial development that all has utilities adjacent to it. To date, we have not fielded any serious inquiries on those lands either. Though Area A shown there are the outlots adjacent to the bank and in front of the Lake Mills Market, and then B and C under single land ownership. We have been planning for those areas for commercial development because they're adjacency to the interstate for a very long time. So one of the issues is, would we be removing the opportunity for commercial development out here? From staff's perspective, we would say no. There still is plenty of land planned for commercial development in this area. Some of the consistency elements is outlined in the comprehensive plan. Goals and objectives are to disperse multifamily housing throughout the community. This graphic is illustrating to you anything in orange is lands that are currently zoned or developed for multifamily development. And you can see that there are a handful to the east of 89. There are only a couple to the west of 89, and there really is nothing in the immediate area up here. So if you're talking west of 89, kind of north of Water Street, there really is no multifamily. So the argument can be made that you would be dispersing multifamily throughout the community. You wouldn't be concentrating it in any one area, which is something that the comprehensive plan talks about. It also talks about, I'm going to skip down here, ensuring that multifamily is in close proximity to adequate transportation connections and community facilities, parks, recreation, commercial and employment districts, right? So that they are convenient, so they aren't going through the middle of single-family neighborhoods, increasing potential impacts to single-family neighborhoods. Commercial is obviously across the street, within walking distance, immediately to the east of it. Obviously, downtown is a little bit separate, historic downtown, but certainly plenty of commercial out there. Parks and recreation are in the area. Tyranena Park is around the corner. Employment districts are to the east up there. And then again, adequate transportation connections. You are on a county highway, County V. You're adjacent to a state trunk highway, 89, and you're adjacent to an interstate highway. It doesn't get much more proximate. Within a quarter mile, you can be on the state highway and onto the interstate. So I'd say it does kind of check the box, if you will, on that requirement. The last issue is, again, trying to provide a certain type of housing, missing middle housing. So, medium density housing is certainly something that's desired here, and that could be something that develops under the multifamily districts, right? That means more than 3 units per dwelling unit, per building out there. It is an opportunity to potentially have a development that would meet some of our housing needs for a variety of housing types. And we've talked about this at length in the comprehensive planning process, but also in some recent development proposals that come forward. There isn't a specific development plan associated with this one. At this time, they are asking, obviously, for the future land use amendment and then a corresponding rezoning associated with it. I think as we talked last month about another development, everything is predicated on the future land use map amendment. If the commission is not supportive, and ultimately the council is not supportive of changing the future land use to, from the planned business designation to the multifamily designation, the rezoning to a multifamily district cannot occur. It would not align with the consistency requirement spelled out in the statutes. So this is the first step, kind of more discussion on this. If you are supportive of this land use amendment, then you can be supportive of the rezoning. But if you're not supportive of the land use amendment, the rezoning really just doesn't go anywhere from there legally. Staff is supportive of this future land use amendment for a few of the reasons that we highlighted. For 2 decades, we have not seen any commercial development out there, and we have ample commercial, developable commercial lands out in this area. This is sat vacant for a long time, and there are utilities in front of it. Also, it's in a tax increment district. It would be nice to see development occur in an area that we've been planning for development for a long time. And then, as I'd indicated, the details of the comprehensive plan do support future land use for multifamily in this area because of not being concentrated in any one area, and of course proximity to infrastructure. If you have any questions, I can certainly answer them.
What we'll do is I think we'll have questions, if we can hold them for later. We'll go straight to public comment. So right now we will we'll have the public hearing. So please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record on this particular topic, which is the changing of from planned business to multifamily residential on the comprehensive plan for this particular property. If anyone has anything that they would like to say, please come to the podium. Anyone online? Okay. So seeing no public hearing comments, I'm going to close that particular discussion at 7:13. Is the applicant here to make a presentation? Sure, if you can come to the podium and state your name and your address, please.
Good evening. My name is David Werning. I'm with Gremar. Our address is 435 Village Walk Lane, Johnson Creek. We are here this evening asking the commission to consider the plan amendment change. I think the planner said it best, and the points he made is the exact reasons we are asking for the change. We are here this evening to try to answer any questions the commission may have, if there are any questions in regards to it.
Great. If you can just kind of stick around in the front row, if that's all right, just in case we have any questions for you. That'd be great. If you could stick around in the front row, just in case we have any questions for you. Sound good? So what we're going to do now is move to number 6 on the agenda, where our commission can enter into discussion, so we can ask questions of the staff or our applicant, discuss any concerns, support for the amendment, or suggestions. So planning commissioners, any thoughts, questions?
I have a question. Did you say that there is no development plan at this point, or do we know, like, types of housing or?
We don't have a site plan. That would be probably more germane to the zoning change discussion. This would be, R312 allows for essentially greater than 3 units per acre.
Right, yeah.
So it's, the future land use map is more of a general discussion over what type of development you'd like to see on the parcel. But we do not have a site plan attached to it. The future agenda item on the zoning change, since it's a straight rezone to, R312, it has to fully comply with the, bulk requirements of the, zoning code. So there'd be no allowance for a deviation, so they'd have to meet each requirement within that zoning code for the R312 district with whatever plan they came forward with.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve?
I guess my question is, without some kind of preliminary plan, and it's been planned business for this long, nothing's happened, and now we would entertain the idea to make a zoning change without even a conceptual plan, and then what happens if that we change the zoning and then the concept just doesn't fly at this level, or city council, then we got to zone something else, and then do we just navigate this back and forth then until?
Yeah, so the future land use map is the plan commission amenable to multifamily development on this parcel? So something that would meet all of the regulations within the zoning code. When the request for zoning change comes up, plan commission and the city council certainly could ultimately decline to make a rezone without a site plan associated with it. There certainly could be at that step of the process to not change it. The difference between these and many of the other ones that the plan commission and the city council has grappled with in the past is that there's no request for a planned development district overlay. So there's no request for relaxations from the code. There's not that designed negotiation give and take between developer and the city as an entity. So the question becomes does the plan commission believe this is a spot for multifamily development? And then the control that the city has is that with the straight rezone to R312, it must comply with the entirety of the R312 zoning code. So there's no deviation or relaxation pathway under that without the planned development district overlay. So the council could certainly decline to issue a zoning change without an idea of what project is going in there. Ultimately, if a zoning change is made to R312, then it becomes permitted by right, and if they comply, then they can construct.
Okay, I completely understand that. I guess I'm just saying, I'm not against it because there's nothing to be against. I'm just kind of in limbo because we're making a change without really seeing the direction. But I don't know. It's just confusing to me somewhat.
Yeah, I think on the future land use map amendment, the plan commission can have the policy discussion of whether multifamily is the highest and best use of this parcel versus commercial. And so it's a discussion of, will this lot ever develop as commercial? Our past history is no. We have not had inquiries, we have not had applications, we have not had discussions. So something in the market is currently keeping this from being developed commercial. So the question before the plan commission is this parcel better suited for a multifamily development? That's on the future land use map amendment. That's kind of what you're grappling with. You can, right, during the course of the comprehensive plan adoption and the future land use map adoption, there's several designations that are made without a specific plan in place as far as what exactly is going to go there. But you know what your code allows for multifamily, and does that fit on this parcel? I think you can have a conversation later on with the zoning change about wanting to see at least a concept plan of what would go in there before approving the zoning change. But I think on the future land use map amendment, the conversation is a bit higher level than that conversation.
Well, thank you, because that makes sense, because I just couldn't put any logic to it, some directional logic, so, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Yeah, Mr. Waters?
I appreciate the memo put out by the city planner. Thank you. Pretty inclusive. As I look at that land, where it's currently zoned to go into multi-housing, that seems like a good use of that land, a good place for that to happen. I'm pro more single family, but this doesn't seem like a real good place for that. So I would support this moving forward.
We evaluated single family there. It's challenging because it would be I'll call it an isolated neighborhood, similar to what you have in the town to the west of it. It's really going to be kind of a cul-de-sac or maybe a small loop in and kind of immediately back out. It can't connect anywhere. You know, to the east and to the south is the cemetery, and so obviously we're not going to have any roads going through there. You are on the county highway. You are, immediately across from the commercial development. There are a little more noise issues and traffic issues associated with County V there. In our opinion, if this site isn't good for multifamily, which would technically have less traffic than commercial, I'm not sure where we would start putting multifamily on county highways and adjacent to interstates and adjacent to state highways. It gets a little more challenging for us. So I don't think single family is going to be the most desirable spot. I think there are much more desirable spots within the community. On the south end of the community, much more desirable. Obviously, on the east end of the community, desirable for single family. So,
Great. Any questions
and north of the interstate.
for our
Obviously.
applicant? No questions? Any questions? Other questions? I guess I'm an emphatic supporter of this, especially when there was so much conversation on Highway B. I was looking at this unit thinking this is a wide open space that's just ready to be built on. I do have some questions though. I guess one concern is if this does go through and it manifests, there's kind of, I felt like, and it seems like there is a standoff between the city and the county on the Main Street, Tyranena Park Boulevard intersection as far as the crosswalk there. And if we get more, I don't know how that works as far as how we can get a crosswalk to go through there. If we have more population, it seems like that would be an important
Are you
safety
talking about
concern.
the new RFI, the new controlled, I guess, RF?
Yeah, just because it's county road and how we can maneuver past that, because it seems like this would become a safety concern.
So I just need to clarify, are you talking about the new RFB crosswalk that was recently installed? as
Is it
part
just installed, just?
Month ago.
Yeah, a month.
No, I've been in Montana, I didn't see it, but so there's a crosswalk there now.
There's a crosswalk with, similar to Main Street, a flashing beacon that when you press it.
Going across Main Street.
Yep, and we will have an agreement with the county on the maintenance of that. So that was part
Drake,
of the.
let me tell you something. Job well done.
That was part of the TAP grant project that we did throughout the community.
Thanks so much. Hats off. All right, any other questions, comments? No? Okay. Seeing no more input from the commission, would anyone like to make a motion regarding the proposed amendment to parcel 246-0713-1114-000 from planned business to multifamily residential on the comprehensive future land use map?
I move passage of the prepared ordinance for the land use amendment on this parcel.
I'll second.
All right. It's been moved by Ms. Lazares to approve the amendment as written and seconded by Ms. Silva. I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Ms. Lazaris,
Aye.
Mr. Grady,
Aye.
Mr. Waters,
Aye.
Ms. Heimstreet,
Aye.
Ms. Silva,
Aye.
Mr. Holman.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Next on the agenda is number 7, the second part of the 2 public hearings for this matter. And this is the zoning amendment request from David Werning, representing Gremar LLC, to change the zoning on the same parcel of land that we've been previously discussing, so located off of West Tyranena Park Boulevard. So seeing that Mr. Wolf already spoke on this, do you have anything else that you'd like to contribute?
I would just like to add a couple small things. Because a positive recommendation occurred for the future land use amendment, the rezoning has to now be consistent with ultimately that future land use amendment. And so this memo kind of mimics that. I do want to reiterate what city manager said. Today we could have the hearing, take input, and if there are concerns of commissioners about not having a specific development plan associated with it, you can, I don't say withhold action, but table action on it. I'm looking at the city attorney on this, to having more details associated with an action. There still are a few steps that have to occur at the council level for the future land use amendment itself. But this proposal is lockstep with, to rezone the lands to R312 is lockstep with the future land use amendment that you saw. There are a series of findings here. We do believe that they comply with the findings for a zoning change. That the map amendment furthers the purposes of the zoning code, which is again orderly development of land, and that it is consistent with the comprehensive plan. I won't go into all the detail unless you have specific questions on it, but again, there are a series of findings associated with this. We do support the rezoning, but also respect that the Plan Commission may want more detail. The city zoning code, I'll say, is very robust when it comes to multifamily development design guidelines. They are codified. We've had certainly good success with them when you look at the the Paul Giusti's development, the Summer Ridge development, and the Drumlin Crossing developments were all under zoning code. One was straight zoning, one had PDD just because of a density issue. But I will defer to the Plan Commission's preferences when it comes to a final action. If they want more details associated with this, we would work with the petitioners to get that.
Great. So we're going to go into public comments for this public hearing right now. So if there's anyone that would like to come to the podium to state their name and their address on this particular matter, again, this would be the rezoning of this property. Yep.
My name is Patrick Winter. I suppose I have my question first when I state my address is I'm N6774 Maple Court, so I'm a landowner adjoining to the south, so I'm in the town, and I understand this is a city meeting. Am I still able to make a public comment here? So I'll state, first of all, I think I'm a proponent of all different types of housing, different levels of housing. Attainable by people of different income levels in our city, in our town. I think that's a very important thing. One of the things that makes me nervous, or I think my comment would change based on knowing what was going to, the type of multifamily housing that was going to go in this area, right? I might say something different based on one site plan than I would based on a different proposed site plan. I can say, just in terms of redevelopment of this area or development of this area, I put a new driveway in my lot and did some stuff within the past few weeks, and there's agricultural drainage tile surrounding this field that drains out into lots to the south.
So there's a lot of water drainage that's coming through in different areas, and redevelopment, depending on what it was, could potentially have some impacts there that I think I need to write up and get to the city. But I guess that's just my main comment is, knowing what was going in that lot would probably dictate the type of public comment that I would make, and it just makes me a little bit nervous and hesitant to approve something without having more of a solid plan in place. So I suppose I'll leave my comment at that.
Thank you. Any other public comments for this hearing? Anyone online? Great. So, seeing no more public comments, we will close it for this hearing at 7:31. With the applicant, Mr. Werning, would you like to make any other? Would you like to make any other comments about the rezoning for this? Did you have any other comments or thoughts that you'd like to put for this particular matter, which would be the rezoning of this zoning matter?
So, we do have a very preliminary concept. You know, the site is, we're trying to lay out where the buildings face the street. So you have the front facades, garages are hidden by the backs of the buildings. So what you see from the street and the neighboring property are the front facades of the building, which, again, very conceptual, but there's been talk of stone, brick, combination on these buildings. They're very tasteful and fit into a community well.
Great, thanks. We might have some more questions for you, if that's okay. Thank you. Okay, and we're on number 8 of our agenda, which is where the commission can go ahead and enter discussion, where we can ask questions of staff or the applicant regarding our concerns or support for the amendment. So Planning Commission, do you have any thoughts?
We're talking multi-housing that can go from anything from duplexes to 24-unit buildings. Do you know, a question to the petitioner, I guess, do you know how big the units are? What are you looking at for this property?
You know, we looked at this piece intending to stay within the bulk regulations of the zoning that we're asking for. This conceptual plan we have right now would be about 5 buildings.
If you can go ahead, let him finish his statement, and then you can state your name and your address. Thank you.
Okay, this is Mark Newman. He
Great.
can go ahead and.
Would you like to state your name and your address, please?
Mark Newman. I live at 128 West Wisconsin Avenue, Unit 502, in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin.
Great.
I had not really planned to speak, so if I seem a little bit off, it's because of that. However, working with Greg Luce and Dave on this project, we built a project that's almost the same out in Wales about 10 years ago. It's beautiful. It's held up perfect. The units are wonderful, and I can answer your questions. The final exact details are not in place, so I don't want to lead you to believe that. But we do plan to put the brick and stone combination on the exterior of the buildings. We've got this set up. I can actually even show you some pictures if you'd like to see of what we have out there. What you got here?
This is Lincolnshire.
This is our, we're really, it's been a wonderful project for us. It's at the corner, if you're familiar with Kettle Moraine High School, it's right on the corner by Kettle Moraine High School. It's a beautiful project. It's held up well. There's significant expenditure in the brick and the stone that you can see on the front of the building. And when Dave was describing this, that we set it up such that the Garages are on the backs and hidden from the street. I won't say 100% hidden, but we've got this set up that what you'll see from the street is the front of our building. There's a single attached garage to each unit where there's direct entry from the garage into the units. We found that to be so popular here in Wisconsin because obviously the winters you walk right into your unit. But it's also, we found that it's a safety issue as well, that people can park in their garage and walk right into their unit. That's been very, very popular from a safety perspective as well. I don't know how much more I should go into. You ask on the size of the units. The size of the units, one-bedroom unit's about 850 square feet, give or take. The two-bedroom units are anywhere from about 1,050 to 1,300 square feet. To hopefully put your minds at ease a bit, we know this project works in Wales, and we believe that the situation here is very, very similar to what we did in Wales, and we're planning on doing basically the same type of thing that we did out there. As far as construction, it's the building numbers in the units are not exactly described. There won't be anything as large as 24 units, and there won't be anything as small as 3 units. There'll probably be 5 buildings on the property, with the front building facing the street, giving you this sort of a facade as you drive in the street. You're concerned about the aesthetic value as people drive by it here in the city of Lake Mills. Very much our concern as well. And then the buildings that are perpendicular to that will have the facade such that when you're running up and down the street, you'll see the fronts of the buildings as opposed to the garages. So I don't know, I can go in as much detail as you want because we built the building and we're probably going to do something not exactly, very, very similar here. It's, from what I can see, it's perfect for this project.
So roughly how many units per building?
There would be anywhere from, again, there's some
Not
planning
holding
here
to
to
it,
fit
but
it, someplace between 13 and 21 units per building.
Okay.
This is, I believe, a 17-unit building that you're looking at here to give some perspective. They're two-story, they're two-story wood frame construction on a slab foundation. If that helps.
Multifamily, R312 allows for 12 units per acre. And then the design of the buildings goes through the administrative review process, so.
Right. We do not intend, if we do anything different, we would have to come back here anyway, but we do not intend to vary from the zoning that we're requesting. So we would not expect to ask for, what's the right terminology, the overlay of something different. We would expect to comply with the zoning per your plans. Parking spaces, all of the requirements that are in that R12-3 zoning.
Go ahead, Chris.
Would these be market rate units?
Yes, price range of the units that we have now are renting anywhere, this is off the top of my head, like I said, I didn't come prepared for this, but they're between, say, $1,450 and $1,800 a month. When I looked at rentals here in the city of Lake Mills, it was comparable. I mean, it's not a lot different than what we're dealing with out in Wales in terms of comparable units.
Do you have any efficiency units? I know when we discussed this on the Highway B thing, they were talking about wanting smaller, more affordable units.
We do not. We'll have 1-bedroom units and 2-bedroom units. We also do not have in the plans any 3-bedroom at this point in time. And I can only tell you that in Wales, with the floor plans that we've used and that one-car garage that's attached that you can get out of your car and walk right into your unit has been so popular that we're going to stick with that sort of plan.
City staff, if this, because of, this is a 2-part, and the first part being a change to our map, for that to go through the city, that needs three readings, is that right?
The future land use map is an ordinance change, which will require 3 readings of the ordinance at the city
So
council.
just for that, how long did it take just for that part?
A month and a half.
A month and a half.
The zoning amendment follows the same. It requires 3 readings as well. So
And usually, does that, if they're both passed, is that usually done in tandem, or is it 1.5 and then?
it can be, it all depends when the recommendation from the plan commission comes on each one.
Great. Thank you. Planning Commission, any other thoughts, comments? I mean, I guess I have a thought, okay? Because I just want to make sure that we're meeting the applicant's needs as well. If I'm just, don't want to lead anyone here, but if this were to be paused, right, this conversation be paused until after the readings are done and that land use map gets validated by the city council, I'm curious, like, what kind of information, what kind of questions, do you have any questions for us, things that you think that we want to know, that we want to see in the building of these properties, like, you know, because we have opinions sometimes, but they don't come out until the last second unless, like, we really eke them out of these guys here. So, like, I'm just wondering if you have any questions.
We've studied it, the concept of the water runoff, and that is certainly going to be part of our engineering plan. We'll be dealing with that in detail. I can only say that as I look at this and I see the opportunity to put a good number of families here that provide across the street to the grocery store and down the road to a variety of restaurants and the Quick Trip and everything else that's down there, and the access to the freeway, it just seems like an ideal to me. And I'm not inflicting this view on anybody else, but it just seems like a logical place to put this sort of a project.
Yes. I guess the only thing I'm thinking about is, like, because we don't have any images or pictures or anything that was part of this agenda, the 6,500 people that we kind of represent don't have that information, and they might want it if they were to be part of this conversation as well. And so I feel kind of an obligation to them. And so your drawings look beautiful, but no one gets to see them outside the people in the room, you know? And so that's just kind of where I'm at. But I 100%, I wouldn't have voted for the change to the map if I didn't agree with you. But I do want to be making sure that I'm representing them well. Yeah, just a thought.
You all are in charge, that much I know for sure.
Any thoughts? No thoughts? Are we sure? Okay, we have nothing else. No other questions, we're all good. So, I mean, there's a lot of different directions, right, that we can go. So seeing no more input, we could make any kind of motion to the zoning change request from single-family R14 to multifamily.
Planned business.
Planned business, I'm sorry, you are correct. Planned business to multifamily residential R312 brought to by Gremar. You can approve the amendment as written, you can approve the amendment with modifications and conditions, we can deny the amendment, we can continue the hearing for a future date. Hearing all motions at this.
I'll move to approve.
Mr. Holman will second.
And what you're moving for is the prepared amendment?
Yes, as written, is that correct?
Yeah.
So Ms. Silva, it's been moved by Ms. Silva to approve the amendment as written and seconded by Mr. Holman.
Yes.
Great. I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Is there any discussion?
Is there any discussion? Yes. Thank you, Mr. Waters, for keeping me honest here.
So if we approve this, are we stuck with something then? Is that,
It's a motion to recommend
okay.
that the city council adopt an ordinance that changes the zoning in accordance with what the ordinance says. So from planned business to R312, the process at the council level, once they receive your recommendation or a non-recommendation, is to address the issue, go through the process, and either adopt that or
Okay.
not.
I
There
get
can be more information at that level.
I get what you're saying.
The process
Okay.
itself.
All right.
So, Mr. Drescher, what I'm hearing you say is that if this is approved as written, if it's recommended as written, thank you, that they could come to the city council with
Oh,
more
this is the
significant,
public hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there certainly will be 3 readings
Yeah.
at the city council level.
with
That's required by
drawings and
law.
everything else.
It's not required. I think that's something that maybe, in my opinion, you guys are getting a little bit bogged down on. I think if you look at this procedurally, and in accordance with what the zoning code says, this is a recommendation to change zoning from planned business, which has certain stricture requirements to develop in accordance with, to R312 multifamily, which has very specific requirements. What you're saying is this parcel, which is 6.72 acres, once you amend the future land use map in accordance with R312, and then you amend the zoning in accordance with R312, that they can then build up to 12 units per acre on this parcel.
Beautiful.
The units cannot be single-family, they cannot be duplexes, they must be multifamily dwellings, 3 or more.
Okay. With future readings that will have more information. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Any other further comment on this? Okay. So it's approved by has been moved by Ms. Silva to approve the amendment as written and seconded by Mr. Holman. Seeing no further comments? Okay, I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Mr. Grady,
Aye.
Mr. Waters,
Aye.
Ms. Heimstreet,
Aye.
Ms. Silva,
Aye.
Mr. Holman,
Aye.
Ms. Lazaris.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. All right, next is number 9, and these are also 2 very kind of separate public hearings. One is, and both from the Lake Mills Area School District, so unpacking them one by one. The first is the zoning amendment request, changing 2 land parcels, 246-0713-0133-003, and 246-0713-0133-004, lots 2 and 3 of CSM 2400 off Oasis Lane, and then moving those parcels from rural development to planned business. And so, and if I'm not mistaken, these is the bus barn being built on this property, which is part of the referendum that was passed last year. Is that right?
I'm not 100% certain of that. There was funding approved for the bus
Yeah,
barn.
funding approval.
Right, yeah.
Correct. Thank you.
This is so everything that gets annexed in comes in as rural development, and then there needs to be a zoning change to the ultimate use. And so that's where this process started from and where it's at now.
Great. Drake or Troy, do you have any additional comments or a presentation that you'd like to provide?
I think Drake just kind of touched on it. I mean, the procedure when they annex into the city is they're designated RD, and then it gives the city the ability to, I guess, rezone it to the appropriate zoning. And since the future land use map, this will be consistent with the future land use map to go to planned business. So there won't be the process of modifying the future land use map. This will just be a straight up rezone from RD, which would be non-compliant for this project and for this size parcels anyway, to go to a compliant PB zoning designation, which would be the zoning that we would want to use for this proposed building up there anyway.
Great. Thank you. So we'll have here public comments now on this matter. So if you have any thoughts about this particular issue, please come to the podium, state your name, address. This is the public hearing for item number 9 on today's agenda. Any comments online? Okay. Seeing no comments online or in this room, we'll close the public comment for this hearing at 7:49. Is there an applicant here today for this matter, or is this? Yeah. Would you like to say anything, or do you have anything else? No. So what I hear from the audience is that there is no issue to make a presentation for this particular matter, okay. So now we're on item number 10 of our agenda, where the commission can enter discussion, ask questions of staff. Any thoughts on this amendment? For this zoning amendment request? Yeah, Mr. Waters?
So in this Oasis Lane area, it seems like there's probably some other attached land that is already zoned as planned business. Is that correct?
I think it's just the future land use map maybe you were looking at as planned business.
Maybe.
Because we do have a couple of parcels up there, but a lot of that's township. But we do have a couple that, are those planned business on the south side? I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Working from
The-
memory, I believe.
The county property, and then Topol, what else?
I
is
went
up
to the presentation earlier tonight, and I couldn't tell by.
Honestly, I
looking at
wasn't
that
prepared
map.
for that, but I know that whole area is, in the future land use map, is proposed to be PB, that off of Oasis Lane there. So I can't quite remember exactly what we have them zoned at, the couple that are in the city, if they are zoned PB, but I'm assuming they are.
I know there's a couple businesses in that area.
Yeah, a couple, well, like the motel and the gas station are in the township still, so they wouldn't be any zoning district, city zoning district yet.
Okay.
But the future land use map has them proposed to be, if they ever get annexed in, PB.
Everything in the city is PB.
Everything that's currently annexed into the city is zoned as planned business.
Okay, that's what I
That
thought.
area.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? No other questions and comments? Okay. So seeing no more input from the commission, would anyone like to make a motion regarding the zoning amendment change for these lots? 2 and 3 of CSM 2400 off Oasis Lane, change them from rural development to planned business.
I move approval of the prepared ordinance in which we would be recommending approval of this rezoning.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Ms. Lazares to approve the amendment as written and seconded by Mrs. Heimstreet. Any questions, comments before we move to a roll call vote? Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Mr. Waters?
Aye.
Ms. Heimstreet?
Aye.
Ms. Silva?
Aye.
Mr. Homan?
Aye.
Ms. Lazares?
Aye.
Mr. Grady?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, this moves to number 11 of our agenda. So this particular public hearing is regarding the desired addition to Lake Mills High School located at 615 Catlin Drive and part of the referendum passed last year for the funding. And we are being asked to amend the existing conditional use of this property, allowing the school to build an addition of approximately 28,000 square feet. City staff, any presentation, comments regarding this matter?
Sure. So this should be very similar to the one you guys looked at earlier this spring. We did one for the elementary school. What this is a requirement by our code, once there's an addition or a modification to a building that has a conditional use, that our ordinance requires us to bring it back in front of another, to amend the conditional use, to make sure you guys are aware that they're modifying what was approved at one time. You know, obviously, the school's not changing the use. Staff has been looking at the potential plans out there, and everything seems to be, no red flags whatsoever with the addition that is proposed yet. So, yeah, staff's here to recommend the approval of the amendment of the existing conditional use.
Okay. So now we're entering, again, this is the public hearing, so we're entering the public comment portion. So please come to the podium, state your name, address for the record if you have any other comments regarding this particular topic. Any comments from the audience? None? And online is none. All right. So seeing no public comments, we're going to close at 7:54. Anybody like to make a presentation? You guys good? We're good. So this moves us along to our agenda item number 12, where what condition can enter discussion, ask questions of staff regarding the amending the existing conditional use on the property of the high school to build approximately 28,000 square feet addition as passed by the referendum in 2024. Any questions, comments? No questions, comments. We're feeling good. Everyone knows what we're doing here. All right. So seeing no input from the commission regarding this matter, I'll take any motions to approve it, deny, continue the hearing, whatever we want to do.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
So we're approving the conditional use permit?
We're approving the
Recommending.
amending the existing conditional use
Yeah.
permit.
I'll second.
So it's been moved by Ms. Heimstreet to approve the amendment approve the amendment as written. So that would be amending the existing conditional use at Lake Mills High School, and it's been seconded by Ms. Silva. Any questions, comments? No questions, comments. Okay, I'm going to ask for a roll call vote.
Ms. Heimstreet,
Aye.
Ms. Silva,
Aye.
Mr. Homan,
Aye.
Ms. Zaris,
Aye.
Mr. Grady,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, thanks. Almost done. Number 13 on the agenda is our last of the main business for tonight, and that is the designation of public art on 301 West Lake Street. City staff, any?
Sure. So what this is, Legendary Lake Mills, which there's a couple of representatives here that'll probably maybe give you guys a little presentation here too when I'm done. But what this is basically they're asking for you guys to designate this as public art. What that allows them to do is it doesn't fall under our category for signage. Then there's the restrictions aren't as limited to the size and location of the mural. So they, if you guys looked at the memo or the drawings, that they want to put the mural on the full east side of that building facing Main Street. So that's the request, is that you guys consider this to be a public work of art and allow them to install this mural on that wall. And they've done a pretty good job. They've got some pretty good detail of what was going to go on the wall. They've got an agreement with the property owner, and they've got how it's going to be maintained, and they've done a pretty good job of dotting all their I's and crossing their T's for this mural.
Great, thank you. Would you all like to make a presentation for us? Thank you. If you can come to the microphone, state your name and your address.
Raina Severson, executive. This is crazy to hear my voice in a microphone, sorry. Raina Severson, Executive Director of Legendary Lake Mills. We are a Chamber Main Street organization. Our mission is to make Lake Mills a better place to live, to visit, and to do business. We've got 4 pillars that we focus on in our organization, one of them being design. In 2024, we were awarded Gold Tier Main Street. We were awarded as a Gold Tier Main Street program, which means that we were just a handful of Main Street programs in Wisconsin that were overachieving, and with that, we got a lot of extra support from Wisconsin Economic Development as well as Main Street America. With that, we got a transformational strategy. We had a consultant come in and kind of work with us on what we could do to just better support our community, advertise our community, things like that. They walked us through, we did a community survey. We had a variety of focus groups. We took all of that information and kind of looked at our program and refocused as to, you know, just what we could do in the sense of building more of a positive environment, feeling a sense of community in Lake Mills. And a lot of the survey results were saying that they wanted to have a mural in Lake Mills. The consultant also talked with us about how in a community of our size, we have so many offerings that are involved in the arts, all different aspects. We've got pottery studios, we've got art galleries, we've got live entertainment every weekend, we've got performances, theater performances in these businesses as well. And what her suggestion was, this consultant, was that we really focus on, as far as getting tourism and things like that, to focus on the art aspect of our community and the performance and all of these things that our community of this size has to offer. It's very special and pretty unique. And so with that, we kind of had a goal that we wanted to continue along the design pillar and really focus on community art installations. So with that being said, we really would like to see this be passed through. You know, Peggy is the designer of this mural, and she really took a lot of time looking at what we had and what we got from this strategy and our kind of new focus, and using that information as well as what the city as a whole has to offer, the special parts of the city. I put in the proposal, you know, this mural it showcases Rock Lake, it showcases, you know, the beautiful greenery that we have. We're so lucky to have Commons Park, all of that green space. And yeah, she really put a lot of time and effort into this. The other thing that I thought was really amazing that Peggy did in this is that she has in the designs that you guys saw, noting that we are a designated tree city, and then also there are future plans to add that when we are a designated bird city, to add that on there too. In this mural, there are not only many trees, but also birds, so that we can add that later. So not only do we think that this aligns with our mission to have more community beautification, art installations, keep on showcasing our wonderful community that has so much art, but also to increase the love of our community and showcase what the city has done to, you know, just maintain all of that beautiful greenery and the nature that we have here. I would be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. I think, like Troy said, I think you said I did a pretty good job, but I feel like it was pretty tight. There's a lot of information in there. We have a plan for maintenance. We also have a plan to add a QR code on the side of the building that brings you to a page on our website that will showcase all of the information on why we wanted this mural to happen, as well as the thought process that Peggy had that was laid out in the proposal, and then donations for maintenance in the future, which all of this has already been agreed upon between the artist, ourselves, and the property owner.
Thank you. We might have some more questions, but maybe
Yeah,
not.
that's totally fine.
All right, Planning Commission, now's the time to ask any questions you have of the city or applicant. Discuss your thoughts.
I can kind of see the art rendering there, and it looks like it's a little bit different than the what was in the memo prepared by our zoning administrator?
Correct. So what was submitted was just the rendering. This is now a more accurate depiction of what will be on the building. As you can see, the colors are a little bit, I don't want to say less vibrant because this is a very vibrant mural, but it maybe is more cohesive with the downtown kind of aesthetic and things to that nature. Not a ton has changed, but if you want to, do you want to walk it around, show them? You can take a little bit of a closer look.
Thanks, Peggy.
Yeah, it did change a little bit from initial design.
Oh, sorry.
Very nice.
That's good.
And that's the building, okay.
Oh, that's the
It's
building.
gonna be on the side of it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Great. Any other thoughts, questions?
Will you be painting it directly on the building or will it be on?
It will be directly on the building, yes. It's kind of a perfect canvas right there. It's right next to, you know where this location is, right? Yeah, right
the
next to the dance studio. It's just a perfect canvas, and the property owner is excited about having it just right on the building and primed and ready to go.
Any other questions? Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thanks for the contribution. See no input from the commission, and thanks for sticking around for 13 agenda items. Appreciate it.
We are more than happy to do so.
Any other thoughts regarding the motion, or anyone willing to motion regarding the designation of public art and move to approve motion 2581?
Mr. Holman will move to approve the motion as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Holman to approve the amendment as written and seconded by Ms. Lazares. Any questions? Any thoughts?
I think it's great. It'll really look nice on that building.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Ms. Silva,
Aye.
Mr. Holman,
Aye.
Ms. Lazares,
Aye.
Mr. Grady,
Aye.
Mr. Waters,
Aye.
Ms. Heimstreet.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate you. Next is recommendation for future agenda items. Are there anything from city staff that we can anticipate next month?
Perhaps the zoning change request from Northern Management Company off of Tyranena. The Plan Commission, I believe, postponed it until after the city council made a determination on the future land use map.
Great, thank you. Anything from the planning commission that you would hope to put on future agendas? No, not yet? Okay, so we'll move to 15. I'll take a motion to adjournment.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Ms. Silva, second by Ms. Heimstreet to adjourn today's planning commission. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. All right, this meeting's been adjourned. Whew.